The soap opera, a series of dashed dreams, lost loves, and twisted family trees. Today we examine the recipe for success in the world of daytime drama. As the Corn Grows, a relative newborn in soap opera years, exploded onto the airwaves and captured the soapies with its Midwestern flavor and homespun humor.
No, 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 put the pickles back!
Excuse me, Mr. Squealberg, Director Squealberg, can we talk?
Are you blind, man? I'm in the middle of a delicate scene.
A moment, please.
You don't understand. But then again, how could you? How the sandwich goes together is critical to the scene.
The sandwich? Yes, well, I see. Well, couldn't they just go on and rehearse so we can continue with our interview as to what makes As the Corn Grows the success that it is?
Mrs. Swanson, Betty, go powder something. Take a break. Everybody, take a break.
Mr. Squealberg, now as the director of this acclaimed soap opera, As the Corn Grows, what would you attribute to its success?
It's not a soap opera. It's a daytime drama. It's kind of a question of which came first, the egg or the chicken?
Yes, well, what's your take?
The chicken.
No, I mean, why has As the Corn Grows captured the imagination of a nation?
I shouldn't take all the credit, but I will. I take the words on a written page and breathe soul into them in each episode.
So what about the cast?
Puppets and parrots bending to the will of my masterful direction. Henry, get that camel out of here. This is a cooking segment. Excuse me.
The process of putting words on paper can be a delicate blend of inspiration, junk food, and late nights. We eavesdropped on the writers of As the Corn Grows during a recent brainstorming session.
All right, put the pizza down and put your thinking caps on. We've been here for 42 hours, and we've only come up with one case of indigestion.
Herb's right. Say, why can't Prairie Ann enter the rodeo bull riding competition?
Oh, Gladys, is your head in the clouds? Prairie Ann is pregnant, remember?
Pregnant? When did this happen?
Prairie Ann is expecting Marvin Monroe's child in 5 months. How about Mrs. Swanson? She's one tough cookie.
No. Don't you remember? Mrs. Swanson is afraid of a little moo cow. It's in her contract.
Excuse me?
Who let you in? Herb, did you forget to lock the door again?
I locked the door. He's been here for hours. The network execs agreed to do some lame documentary about As the Corn Grows.
Well, no one told me. Turn that camera off.
Now, Gladys, you look fine. What I really want to know is what the key is to As the Corn Grows' phenomenal success.
The writing.
We didn't sign up for Big Brother. We got a show to write.
So much for artistic temperament. This cast of As the Corn Grows is rather an eclectic ensemble of characters. Navigating a river of emotions, Betty Thompson plays nemesis to Mrs. Swanson's sweet nature. Let's take a look.
I felt so awful coming without empty-handed last time without bringing you something.
Well, you shouldn't feel too bad. You saved her a trip to the emergency ward to get her stomach pumped.
You should talk. You and your sweets and eats have sent more people there than, the swine flu and the common cold combined.
Oh, now, ladies, let's not fight. This coffee cake looks good enough to melt in your mouth.
I thought you were holed up at the Horsefly Inn. What did you bake this in, your Easy Bake oven?
For your information, Cousin John allowed me to use his guest cottage. I have kitchen facilities, so I just whipped up the coffee cake.
I bet Aunt Minnie was glad about that, you harlot.
Excuse me? There you go, calling me names again. What is your problem?
Now, ladies, please. This is an awesome cornmeal coffee cake. Please.
Well, I certainly hope that you have your Dr. Ed on speed dial.
We caught up with Betty backstage.
Hi. It all started back in a TV station in Poughkeepsie, Wyoming. I was the special features person. I was the one that organized all the beauty pageants, covered everything special for the county fairs. I was approached by a Hollywood talent agent. He wanted me to audition for There She Is. Well, I left and went to Hollywood. Didn't get the part, but I did get the talent scout. We were married, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, I was back in showbiz. Well, I kind of like being the bad girl role. So much more you can do with your character when you're not so sugary sweet. And before you ask, it's not true, the rumor that Mrs. Swanson and I fight more off camera than we do on. If that were the case, we'd have killed each other long ago. What makes As the Corn Grows so popular with soap opera fans? Well, I think a good soap is like a great recipe. All the major ingredients have to work together, but every recipe needs some spice, that special ingredient, and I think Betty Thompson, add that spice. The salsa, if you will, that adds heat, that makes the audience want to come back for more.
There is no doubt that a good supporting cast contributes to the overall success of any show, and none contributes more than the fumbling but lovable Lawyer Ed. Well, see for yourself.
No, I'm not calming down. I'm the one who's excited. I'm not beating on the table. I'm not trying to
Listen, can't we just talk this over like rational human beings?
Oh, sure we can. Yeah, you'll be all right there. Yeah, I suppose we can, yeah. But, let me give you some advice, John. You can't contest this will. This will is ironclad.
But I want...
No but about it. Aunt Ella, she prepared this for you. She decided everything she wanted you to have. It's right here. Let me look at this just a second. There's a clause right here. It's a basic clause. And it's right there. It's right. It says, what she left you is exactly what she intended for you to leave to you.
Come on, let's be serious. Urban Katie is a city girl. You can't possibly think that she's going to move from California back here to Minnesota to run a farm.
Well, let me check with Edna. Edna, when is that sexy young lady from California coming? One with the nice legs. And she's yeah, right. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Today? She can't be moving in today.
Oh, hold on a second. Edna. Right. I got an appointment with her. What time is that? Oh, John, look, I got an appointment with her at 1 o'clock, and I got a bunch of stuff to do. Edna, can you help John out?
This is not the end of this.
Edna, can you help John out? And Edna, when he leaves, lock the door.
I caught up with Lawyer Ed in between scenes.
Well, I'm glad you came today. I started out in showbiz at the tail end of vaudeville, and it was great. It was a great time to be coming into show business, and I left home when I was only 16. I went to New York, and that's where I met my partner. My partner here, Quackers. That was a marriage made in heaven right there. We were on the Ed Sullivan Show the night that there was a young group that was on there, and they were young musicians from England, and we were practicing all night. They were making all kinds of noise. I couldn't hardly think. They were in there, yeah, she loves me, yeah. What a bunch of untalented guys. And man, they had some really shaggy hair. My fans kind of think that I should have a little more hair, and I kind of, man my age, it's kind of tough getting this much hair on there, but I'm kind of torn between this one, and I'm trying to torn the more natural look, I think that this is more genuine. The Ed Sullivan Show was our jumping off point, but we kind of jumped off at that point. We kind of fell off the radar for about 20, 30 years. And then my agent called me and he said, we've got a soap opera in the Midwest I'd like to have you try out for. And he says, this is a great show. I want you to kind of get spiffed up and start looking like a lawyer. And I said, I can look like a lawyer. No problem. I said that I'll be right over there. And we interviewed and we got it, and it was just the rest of it's just history. In this show, I kind of play a lawyer, and it's a very serious endeavor for me. My father always wanted me to be a lawyer, and it's kind of a wonderful thing now that I had the opportunity to sort of fulfill his dreams and his aspirations. And this is Quackers. In that 20 or 30 years when we kind of falter in our our show biz kind of took a little bit of a nosedive. We started doing a lot of bar mitzvahs, and we started doing a lot of stag parties and things. And we got these parties, we got those roles because people thought that Quackers was a female stripper. And so we got there, and these guys were all full of beer, and Quackers would have to take her clothes off once in a while. I mean, what can you say? She was a little wooden, but these guys were full of beer. They didn't know the difference. They were perfectly happy with the whole thing. They were just happy to have. They could tell the guys that there was some stripper named Quackers where, but that's it. But since then, I've been also working on something. I'd like to have you kind of take a look at something very, very important. And it's called Ciphers, and this is a product that I'm currently being interviewed and kind of auditioning to kind of promote this. And Ciphers are a wonderful, wonderful product. And we were staying in those hotels, and we couldn't even get fleas to stay with us there. It was so bad. But we used these Ciphers, and we kind of cleaned up the place, and it was great. And actually, Quackers doesn't wear shoes, but if she had, she would have taken them off then in that place. But the other thing that we've been kind of promoting is a thing here called Eddie Whip. And Eddie Whip is just a wonderful thing. So if you've been home all day watching soap operas and your children come home and you're cried your eyes out and you're sad, and now the children come home and you're kind of thinking about, what can I feed them? Can I feed them like a nice sandwich or roast beef or something? Don't feed them that stuff. That's not good for children. Give them something like this. Now watch this. You don't even have to have a bowl. You just put it right in their little hands like that. Give them a little spoon. They just kind of eat it. Remember, Lawyer Ed eats it every day. That's a great question. Why do I think that As the Corn Grows is such a wild and smashing success? Well, I don't know how to say this without appearing to take all the glory, but if you just look at the ratings, every time I'm on this show, the ratings go up. I think it's basically Lawyer Ed. Now, Quackers has a little bit to do with it, but Quackers has nothing to do with the authentic look of what a Midwestern lawyer would look like. Nothing. Quackers is just a little bit too wooden.
The cast of As the Corn Grows is a diverse mix of experienced character actors. Mrs. Swanson, for example, talks about the phenomenon of the sweet swine soap. Let's take a look.
As a young woman in the 1950s, I worked for the CIA as an agent in Russia during the Eisenhower administration.
Have you been watching that James Bond marathon on Spike TV again?
And at that time, I had a sanctioned affair with Vladimir, who was a very high KGB member.
Okay, I'll bite. Then what happened, spy lady?
Well, on September 25th, in 1956, I gave birth to a baby boy.
That's coincidence. That's my birthday.
Snap out of it, John. At that time, I only agreed to an adoption if they would adopt the child to an American family.
Well, and you want me to help you find your son? Is that what you want?
Oh, I found him.
Holy crap.
We track Mrs. Swanson down at the Daytime Emmys.
As a young woman in the 1950s, I began my operatic singing career with the Okabena Festival for the Arts. I loved it with a passion until I strained my voice when they asked me to sing the national anthem at the World Series 1971. After that, my voice went and my opera career was over. I sank into a very, very deep depression. And then my friend Beverly said, "Why don't you try acting?" Because acting, after all, is an opera without the singing. And I thought, well, there you go. So I got onto the new soap that was called A New Day Awaits. And I rode that sucker for 35 years. Why not retire? Well, actually I thought about it. But I thought, how can you keep an acting career like mine on the shelf? Impossible. And by that time, I was sick of just hobnobbing with Harrison, Travolta, all those people on the Riviera. So I contacted my agent and I said, please search the country for something that I could get interested in for my golden years. What is the key to the success of our show? Well, it's got to be acting. I get asked that question many, many times, and I say that undoubtedly it's my performance that brings the people back day after day and year after year. There are many, many times that I have heard people say, you carry the show. Well, an episode without Mrs. Swanson is like a day without sunshine. And may I say, because I'm the oldest cast member, it doesn't mean I'm not a babe.
Elmer Plow may be Sweet Swine's own Mr. Safety, but his reckless lifestyle off-screen as a motocross racer makes him a Hollywood enigma. Let's watch Elmer in action.
Mr. Plow, I have wrestled with more issues regarding you this year than any other county inspector.
But
there are no buts, Mr. Plow. I've spoken to Mr. Davis, and we are in agreement. No buts. You are going to be reassigned to a foreign field office.
Reassigned? I mean, I have one bad year, I'm a little off my safety game, and you boot me out? I can't leave here. These people need me. This county is not safe.
Not to worry, Elmer. We've already found an interim replacement for you.
Interim replacement?
That's right. But you know, up to this year, I understand you have been an exemplary county safety inspector. But this time you need a time to reflect on your actions, and a time for cooling off, and to experience a different perspective.
Cooling off? Let me tell you about cooling off! You said reassignment?
Reassignment, yes. I've thought this through thoroughly.
How about the Bahamas?
No, Elmer.
How about Brazil?
No, Mr. Plow. I've contacted our international office, and for the next 6 months, you will be in Russia, assigned to help the farming community in Russia develop a farm safety program.
Russia?
We took our mobile truck to Newark, where we caught up with Elmer.
As a teenager, I was a real rebel without a cause. My mother would cringe every time I'd start that motorcycle. It just used to drive her crazy. She had to wear earplugs all summer long. She said it would be the death of me. Well, I guess I showed her. Lucky for her, my dramatic streak showed when I was about 16. And I went to the Footlights Institute of Acting for 2 years to hone my acting skills. What a great place. Within 2 years, I landed the coveted role of Simon in Simon Says, a Broadway production. I would drive out to Newark every weekend, race that motorcycle. It was a dream. Even bigger dream is Simon Says lasted 20 years on Broadway. What a gig. Simon Says, go get a drink of water. Simon Says, go get your motorcycle. I love that role. After my widely publicized motorcycle accident, if you ever been on YouTube, you can look it up. Man versus Projectile. When I came out of my coma, my agent Stimpy was sticking the script in my face. I said, hey, I just got out of a coma. Give me a break. He says, you got to read this script. Well, it was As the Corn Grows. Well, what do I know about corn? I'm a motorcycle racer. But I read it, and I figured, hey, you know, what do I got to lose? I've been in a coma a year. Phone's surely not ringing off the hook. So I took it. Elmer Plow. What a wimp. Safety this, safety that. Watch out for the branch. There's a banana. This guy is really something else. It was amazing with these writers. We even spoke it all. Could have just as well been a mime show. Get this. I asked the writers to give me a little more backbone. And their response is not to redo the script. They send me to Russia for the winter. They write me out of the script. Let me tell you, these guys are a piece of work. As the Corn Grows a success? Are you kidding me? It's the depth of the characters. Especially mine, Elmer. Never in the history of daytime drama has so much been done with so little.
Dual roles are a trademark of As the Corn Grows. Aunt Minnie, Cousin John's live-in girlfriend, and Safety Inspector Daphne O'Malley are as different as night and day. Here, let's take a peek.
All right, Aunt Minnie, calm down, calm down.
Calm down, calm down. I've been violated.
Violated? I thought you said you were robbed.
Listen, you. I saw my life flash before my eyes.
Did you get a good look at the assailant?
No, it was dark and he put a gun in my back.
Okay, okay. Calm down, calm down. Did he take your purse?
No, he didn't.
Your rings? Your watch?
Nope.
He didn't take your purse or your jewelry. Well, what did he take?
He took my shirt. He took the shirt off my back.
Your shirt?
My shirt!
During a break, we asked the colorful and vivacious Aunt Minnie about the challenges of playing two very different roles in the same episode.
Oh, you're here. Oh, go away. Go away. Shoo. Go. You know, I just absolutely adore playing the roles of Aunt Minnie and State Fire Marshal Daphne O'Malley. Also, don't forget, I initially played the role of Aunt Ella, but they killed me off in the second episode. However, they were so impressed with that performance that they decided to bring me back to play multiple characters. Go away. Not now. Go. Bye-bye. Gosh. You know, it takes makeup 2 hours to transform me into Aunt Minnie. And she's the colorful one. Colorful as the day is long. And State Fire Marshal O'Malley is just as bland as wallpaper. You know, I was discovered at an upscale restaurant out in Anaheim, California. Perhaps you've heard of it. The IHOP? Anyway, when they called me after the audition to tell me I got the role, I just was thrilled. The chance to work with Cousin John was just a dream come true. My mother was thrilled. You're asking me why I think the show is so successful? Well, I'm not one to toot my own horn, but it has to be the characters of Minnie and Daphne. I think my characters are the glue that hold the show together. And you know, I've been nominated for a Daytime Emmy 3 years in a row now.
One of the most renowned actors on the ensemble is Ronnie Philibus Silage. A British-born actor, he has won critical acclaim for playing the dual roles of Ronnie P. and the dog whisperer Stanley Crockett. So let's take a look.
Yes, I've always had a good brain under my cap, but the first thing I think we need to launch is Hot Dish on a Stick.
Hot dish on a stick?
Yes, we'll reach a whole new market.
Do you know how hot dish works?
Oh, yes, but it came to me in the desert. And I had a burning hunger for some Minnesota down-home cooking. And I thought if I ever came into any money, I was going to invest and build a food processing plant.
Hot dish won't stick on a stick, Sparky.
Oh, yes, it will. Think big, think big. We compress all the hot dish goodness into a tube, and then we push it up with a stick.
We interrupted the renowned actor as we were waiting for his limo to arrive.
Yes, well, now is not a good time. I'm about to dash off to the theater. Well, okay, all right, I suppose, since you've been kind enough to include me in your little production here. As you know, I've always been a method actor. Oh, it's the grease paint, the footlights, playing the boards to the roar of the crowd on the West End. Oh, yes, I've loved that until my actress wife took up with that Miami Beach cabana boy. Oh, then I had to re-examine my life's goals. So I decided I needed to be as far away from the West End and London as possible. So I packed up and moved part and parcel to sunny L.A. to be where the real money is. The telly! When director Spielberg called and offered me this role in As the Corn Grows, I was a bit reticent because, Ronnie P. Silage really isn't my sort of chap. But my agent and I discussed it, and we decided, we'd dally around with this for a little bit. What makes As the Corn Grows so successful? Surely you jest. It is I that brings a measure of the legitimate theater to the table here. It is I that carry the ratings. For how long, I do not know, but Chilio, I do so enjoy the recognition from the common folk. Yes, a day doesn't go by when I can't throw a rock and hit a fan. Oh, there's my limo. I must go. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Tally-ho.
Prairie Ann is a long-suffering, misunderstood dreamer that every self-respecting soap needs. Urban Katie's romance with Elmer Plow shook up her love life. Let's listen in.
Cousin John, I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. I know you're determined to get that farm back from Katie, but arson? What were you thinking? Oh, giddy up.
Whoa, back up. There's no arson here, at least not on my part. He drives up, sees the house glowing, thought it was Christmas tree lights. When he got closer, he found out it was a fire. He called 911, hightailed it back to Man Cave.
So, you're trying to tell me that you had nothing to do with burning Katie's house down in the middle of the night?
That's exactly what I'm telling you, and if you say anything to anybody about what we talked about in this car, you can kiss your plans to marry Plow goodbye.
Why was Mary kissing Elmer? Oh, look, Johnny! New Year's fireworks!
You didn't tell me Aunt Minnie was in the back seat.
God, where are my manners? Minnie, Prairie Ann, Minnie.
Oh,
Satisfied?
my. Aren't you a wiseacre? That's all we need is Minnie blabbing her loose lips over town. I can just see it now. Her and Norma blabbing everything they know at
hold on. Don't you worry about her at all. She's in the champagne twilight zone. She won't remember anything come morning. Now get out of my car before somebody sees us together.
I can't believe you got us into this.
We tracked her down on the As the Corn Grows set.
I love Prairie Ann's character. Of all the roles I have played in my career, Prairie Ann is the closest to me personally. It was like they wrote the story about me. Her free spirit and willingness to take responsibility for her life is like me. It's uncanny. I had just finished a long-running role on, the show everybody loves, Rhonda, when my agent called and wanted me to read for the part for As the Corn Grows for Urban Katie. Well, when I got there for the audition and they took one look at me, they had me read for Prairie Ann. They called me that day. Well, then the next day, Barbara Walters called. And I'm telling you, since then, as Prairie Ann would say, it's been giddy up from here on out. What makes the soap opera, As the Corn Grows, so irresistible? Well, I won't mince words. It's me, Prairie Ann. She's always in the middle, and I've done my best to keep her there. And you might not know that I play 2 more roles on the show. I play Cousin John's 1-week stand, Mystic Ray, and also her daughter, Willow Brooke. What a range. There's no typecasting me. And with 6 Emmys under my belt, I think the audience has spoken, don't you? Oh, Mr. Squilberg! I'm ready for my close-up.
Cousin John, the quintessential bad boy on screen, humanitarian off. As the Corn Grows, John Robert is the JR of the millennium. And you can, judge for yourself.
So, Katie, it's D-Day. That note's due.
Yes, I am well aware that today is the date that Aunt Ella's note is due.
I think it's only fair to tell you, too, that my offer to purchase the farm, I've taken that off the table.
okay, because you know what? I'm not thinking of selling.
Well, you do know how this works, right? If you don't pay the note off in full today, I can repossess the farm.
Yes, I'm aware of that, John, and I know that Aunt Ella used the farm as collateral for that $100,000 note with you, and that you wouldn't hesitate to take the farm back from me if I don't pay you back today.
Well, as long as we're clear, let's get down to brass tacks then.
Very well.
Oh, say you brought your sewing kit. You know, I got a button that came off here. Can you give me a hand with that?
I see. Well, I'm sorry I don't have time because I have a meeting in 10 minutes, as I was saying. So I think that this ought to cover it. The note that Aunt Ella had with you.
Ooh. How did you get...
I'll tell you. You know, I prayed for divine intervention. And between Aunt Ella's spirit and Ronnie Philibus' silage, we found a fortune in this sewing basket buried in the back of her closet.
We found Cousin John hosting the Save the Royalto Theater fundraiser.
Cousin John. God, what can I say about Cousin John? Other than he's nothing like me. Although he is a character times 3. His mother on the show, Mrs. Swanson, boy, she was quite the gal in her younger years. She really got around. So I find myself playing not just John, but 3 characters. I also play the Russian brother Boris and the good old boy from down south, Daniel. You know, I kind of fell into this role. An old girlfriend of mine, she dared me to try out for it. You know, I mean, what can I say? The rest is history. Oh, and by the way, so's the old girlfriend. You know, I grew up in a high-rise condo in downtown San Diego. So Sweet Swine County is a little bit outside my comfort zone. Heck, closest I've ever been to a farm was I went to Knott's Berry Farm when I was 10. So you might ask me, what makes As the Corn Grows such a great success? Well, at the risk of sounding immodest, I gotta say it's my character. I mean, crap, everybody loves to hate Cousin John, and they've cloned him twice over, for heaven's sake.
Urban Katie, the big city girl turned country. Over 2,000 women tried out for the key part. The following is just a sampling of her work as Urban Katie and Russian villainess Natasha Cherchenkov.
Oh, Elmer, please don't leave. I need your strength, your wisdom, your love. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave us.
Listen, every time I've tried to help you, it's come back to bite me in the butt. And according to the trinomial probability distributions that I've calculated, that shouldn't happen.
But Elmer, you know very well that the second law of thermodynamics clearly states that the universe must constantly move from chaos to order.
Chaos? You want to talk about chaos? Because that's what my life has been like since you came to town, honey. First of all, I get arrested for burning down your house. Thankfully, your cat took the rap on that. And then the picnic. Oh, who can forget the picnic? I get goaded into fighting with the biggest resident of this county, Cousin John. Don't tell me about chaos to order. I'm living it.
I had nothing to do with that, Elmer.
I'm going to Moscow. I'm through with everything here. All I want is peace and out of this chaos.
This has to do with Natasha, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, Elmer, I don't know what I'm going to do without you.
That is your misfortune.
Oh, Elmer, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Well, well, John Robert Olson. It is time we met. I have searched for you for years after Father's dying declaration. And soon, very soon, we shall meet, and I shall have what is rightfully mine.
So, this is man you dream of, John Robert Olson, American capitalist pig? Please.
Oh, Boris, please, please, this is purely business. Father sent him something. years ago that is mine, rightfully mine, and I shall have it back.
I understand your obsession. For chicken plucker, he is quite handsome.
Oh, my darling, darling brother. Boris, I tell you this. When I return from my trip, we will have wealth beyond our wildest imaginings. As for this chicken farmer, I spit on him. Pooey.
I come with you then.
No, no. This is something I must do.
We caught up with Katie on a recent press junket.
How did I feel grabbing the role of Urban Katie Olsen? Well, did you know that over 2,000 actresses auditioned for that role? Yes, it's true. And it is fortunate that I and the director, Mr. Squealberg, we had a positive history. Did you know we were in that marvelous thriller called Illinois Smith and the Egyptian Tombs? And we also did a wonderful raceway picture called Car Wars, yes. So it was quite lovely to get a call. I was in between assignments at that point, and I got the call, and within a week I was off to Sweet Swine County. Well, Urban Katie leaves the bright lights of Hollywood for the kind of relaxed and laid-back homestead of Aunt Ella. But she experiences a baptism by fire because her home burns down, her love life fails, and her crops die. What about Natasha? Well, director Mr. Squealberg approached me about the idea of doing a dual role, and I was thrilled. In fact, at the Sweet Swine picnic, I had a fist fight with myself as Natasha and Urban Katie, and it was great fun until, of course, I knocked my teeth out. What makes As the Corn Grows a must-see for soapies worldwide? Well, let's see. I think if I had to isolate just one thing, I think what I would isolate is the role of Urban Katie, of course. Now, of course, Natasha. There's always Natasha. She might have done her part to keep the ratings up for a while. However, I believe it's Urban Katie who is supporting the entire soap with the less than stellar cast.
Presented for your approval. As the Corn Grows is a soap opera for the new millennium. Aunt Ella may be gone, but the legend of Sweet Swine County continues.